Hello everybody and welcome back to Drumard Farm. So looking at the poll from the previous episode, it looks like most of you want me to do the gold nugget collecting session, which means we collect every gold nugget and then get £1 million if we do everything successfully. So we're going to be doing it. I think it's probably going to be in the final episode or possibly the penultimate episode, because we don't really need to have the money for this series, but we will need to have it for the next one. So just to save it from being ridiculously easy for us, we'll do it for the next map. It's going to be the best thing to do. Anyway, what I'm doing here is I'm going up to the top yard, which we have created. It's the gate that doesn't open. Why doesn't it open? Weird. You can drive through it, but it doesn't look very realistic. Maybe there is a button for it, I'm not too sure. But yes, we're going up here, we're going to pick up the seed drill, and we're very quickly going to plant a few fields. This is going to be very quick because this is a very large seeder, and the fields which we're about to plant are very small. Field number 4, 5 and 6 are the 3 we're going to do today. The other 2 actually need to be, one of them needs to be baled, the other one can be direct drilled again, but we're not going to. We're going to just hold off, and really the aim of this is to get some oilseed rape or canola into the fields. Get a bit of money growing in the fields. It's still attached. Obviously we're not going to use the drop nose DEUTZ-FAHR for this, we're going to use the MASSEY FERGUSON. I've got into the wrong vehicle. Don't you just hate it when that happens? That's something that you probably couldn't do very easily in real life, accidentally get into the wrong vehicle. Unless you completely lost your train of thought. Anyway, let's get it attached. It's going to be a good setup, this. This isn't going to be the only thing we do today. We're going to have quite a few things to do. So, I've done it again. Can you believe it? Off we go. Let's go and get those fields planted. Now, is there a shortcut? No, there is not a shortcut. Good to see we cleared that one up. We're going to have to go back down the bottom farm. Unless there is a way of turning left down here. I did notice there was like a cut through, which actually does seem to bypass the yard. It's down here on the left hand side. Where it goes to though is a mystery. Be fun to explore and have a look. Well, that was simple but very effective. We have completely bypassed the yard. Very handy. I wish I'd known about that earlier. So, that field there needs to be collected, well the bales need to be collected out of that field. We're going to do it in a different episode though. It won't be today. I'm hoping to do some other stuff. We have been doing quite a bit of bale work recently. So here we are. Now you'll probably know already that you can use a greenhouse or something along those lines to diversify the farm. It is just a different avenue of business. So I think today what we're going to do is buy many greenhouses as we can afford them, and that should be a great thing to do because really we're going to have the water, we've got a water source, and also we're going to have the manure to keep it productive as we have cows and pigs. So yes, it should go very well. Anyway, the seed drill is 90% full, and I don't really expect it to empty too much as these fields are fairly small. In fact, a very clever thing to do here is to go across all 3 fields. Probably not the most realistic approach, but it is definitely the most time effective. So if you don't know what I mean, I'll show you. Chances are though you can probably get a good idea of what I mean just by saying crossing the fields. Off we go. So yes, oilseed rape is definitely selected there. Some of you do call it canola. Very similar though. It does mean we have to keep picking up, but honestly, instead of turning around each time, this is going to save a massive amount of time, so it's definitely going to be worth it. Seen many people do this before in multiplayer. I think it was on the Sosnovka map. That's an issue though. Don't accelerate too hard and miss a bit, otherwise you're just wasting time, as you have to go back to it again. Anyway, I'm going to crack on here. In fact, it could be quite a fun thing to do a time lapse on. It's a little bit tight turning here, but it's definitely possible. And as you can see, we definitely do need to have the extra horsepower which this tractor provides, as we still have some wheel slip. Wheel slip is healthy. You would not want a tractor with no wheel slip because the transmission would not thank you. But obviously we don't want to be losing traction just because it's not a heavy enough or powerful enough tractor. Yep, that seems to work well. Okay, I'll see you in a second. Okay, so we have almost finished. As you can see, we have still got over 50% of seed left in the seed drill, which is pretty good, considering we have now planted about 4 fields with this. Now, I have been thinking about where to actually have these greenhouses while doing this, and I think the best place is actually in our brand new yard. There's plenty of area to cover, there's plenty of sunlight, and obviously it's very close to our food source, which is, well, it's manure. I wouldn't exactly call manure food, but it is for plants. So that is going to be, I would say, the best place for it. They don't have to be anywhere near any kind of sell point, because obviously it just, everything sells on its own, you don't have to take anything out of it. So yeah, I would say that is going to be the best place. Anyway, there we go, all done there. Let's fold it up again. And that has definitely taken much less time than what it could have done if we had had to do every single field individually. Like I say, possibly not the most realistic way of doing it. The best thing might be to join those fields together, as it's all the same crop. We shall see. Right, so I think what we're going to do is put this in the yard over here, since it's a seed drill. The other farm is more for livestock, this is more for arable. So there is plenty of storage, great place for it. And what we are going to have to do is probably use our front loader telehandler machine. I always get very confused about what to call it, because it's a front loader but it's also a telehandler. It does both. So I don't know, it's in the front loader section, but it does boom out. It is telescopic, so hard to say. Anyway, let's put this into this shed over here. We will take the seed drill off. Let's open the cover. Went near to the seed refill point. There we go. There is a fence behind us, but we're not too close to it. Lower it first. You have to unfold it first. Right. There we go. And the tractor can go into this bay directly next to it. And now what we need to do is head back to the farm, but only in the telehandler, which should be in this very large barn just over here. Somewhere. We don't have much manure yet, do we? We're going to need quite a bit. Come on, pigs. Make some more poop. They should have enough straw. Now, we're going to need to have a bucket. The bucket is there. Let me just spin round and we'll attach it to the front of this. Yeah, it takes all of the tractor front loader attachments, but like I say, it does sort of act like a telehandler. It's just a very small one. And I think that is all we actually need for today. So let's head back over there. Actually, there's a thought. Yeah, I was going to say we could use the Fendt tractor to load up with manure, but then the cow area isn't actually too far away from where we're going to be anyway, so we can just get away with doing it with the bucket. Many trips with the bucket instead of a few trips. We have 3 vehicles here. We have 4 vehicles, I mean, and this is the fastest one, amazingly. Yeah. There was actually a mod by Bullet Build to increase the speed of traffic in FS15. I don't think it's in 17. If it is, I'm missing a trick there, but yeah, I don't think it is. It would be very nice to have, to increase the speed from, I think they usually do about 20 miles per hour as default, but 30 is the minimum you want them to go. I mean, that road back there would be a 60. So they do go a bit too slow, but I suppose if it went too fast they'd be flying around the bends, tipping over and bursting into flames, like in a cartoon. Now, this is, as you'll know, the cow farm. We're going to have to try and locate their dung pile. Here it is. Yeah, I didn't think they'd have too much. Might fill a bucket load though. No, it does not fill a bucket load. Right, so it's going to be a long-term thing, quite clearly. But that should be enough to at least get one of the greenhouses going. I'm going to reverse out of here and go the other way. It does seem to be a very good shortcut. Up through the trees. I can't remember how much a greenhouse costs, but I think it's around £25,000 if I'm not mistaken. So we can't afford that many. We don't want to buy too much because obviously we don't want to be in debt again. Oh, the embarrassment of going to debt in every series. No. We have £430,000, so we can use about 50,000 of it, maybe 75,000, which would buy us about 3 or 4. It really depends on what they cost. That's the thought. Do we have a water bowser? If we don't, that is another thing we're going to have to buy. Always more expenses. But as you can see, quite a bit of wasted space here, so this is going to be perfect for the greenhouses. They don't want to be in the middle of the yard, they could get a bit in the way, so maybe on this side of the farm here, on this side of the yard here. So let me just see. Let me just go into Placeables and see exactly what they cost. They cost, yeah they do, £25,000. Which does seem quite expensive, but at the same time, they're clearly very well built. They're massive buildings. So the loading side is there. In that case, we could put one here and then get a lettuce greenhouse and put it just over here. More like a polytunnel, I suppose. Then at least we're loading them both on the same side. There we go. So that is quite a nice start. We don't actually have to have any more if we don't want to. At least having one of each is quite nice. And we still have £380,000. Not bad at all. So first things first, we're going to have to try and split this 50-50. Roughly. It's not going to take much. Okay, that's very rough. Very rough. Let me just put a tiny bit more in there. There we go. The rest can go into the tomatoes. They both have to have at least some. Now obviously we can go over to the pig farm and get some from there, but they do seem to be producing a very small amount. My guess is we don't have that many pigs. Oh no, I've done that awful thing where you tip it on the floor. We've tipped it on the ground. I'll try and get it in again. That was very wasteful. There we go. Okay, so now what we need to do is try and locate a water bowser. Let's hope we do have a water bowser. If we don't, then yeah, it's just going to be another thing to set us back a bit further. The joys of starting from scratch. Although we didn't really start from scratch, we still gained quite a bit of money. Okay, so let me just try and find the water bowser section, which, no, it's not here. It is here. And no, we don't own one. Unless there is a mod. No, the honeybee, it's not that. So we're going to have to buy this. So that'll be over at the store. Now I don't know where the fill point is for that, so we're going to have to try and find it. You would have thought it'd be down at the yard, but as I've never looked for the water fill point before, this could be a bit of a hunting session, which I tend to have in nearly every episode. Yes. Okay, let's race over there, and we will pick it up. The store is quite a long way from here, actually. We're going cab view. It is better. So many people have said, why don't you just do one episode, at least one episode, where you never leave cab view? I like the idea because obviously that is 100% realistic. Never would you be floating behind the tractor cab like this unless it was a drone following you. It's just, you don't really appreciate what I'm doing so much if you're in cab, because you don't even see the tractor from the outside. In real life that wouldn't be a problem, but I think for a video in Farming Simulator, it probably is a problem. You've got to see what we're doing. So yes, next episode we'll do the bales. We have just done so much bale work recently. The grass is already growing again. I think I need to check my growth speed. Lots of traffic. Wow, there is a lot of traffic. Must be rush hour. I suppose it is. 5:10. Where is it from here? Right, I think. Here we go. This is like the store area where you can buy and sell your animals and also buy and sell machinery. And possibly sell and buy some grain as well. Yeah, this really is just the trading area. Pretty much. So let me just go over to the store, which is here. Get it onto the back, and yeah, I probably should have checked to see where the fill point was when we drove through the farm. Let's hope there is a fill point at this farm. Otherwise I'll be wasting my time, I'll have to go to the farm as well. There we go. Okay, off we go. And that's actually not a bad setup. We've got a nice tractor on, well, a fairly small tractor on the right size implement. Now the disadvantage is, again, we're going to have to pay for the water. I did actually get sent a link to a mod which allows you to disable the being charged for water function, which is obviously very good. But knowing me, I lost the link again. I know there is a mod out there because I saw it, but I have lost it. Now that is going to be very handy to have. We will never have to pay for water again. Obviously if we're pumping it out of the mains pump, out of a mains supply, we should have to pay for it. But if it's coming out of a river, then theoretically we probably shouldn't have to pay for it. Here we go again, stuck behind another car. Pickup. Right, time to hunt for the water fill point. I'm looking very carefully. I don't want to whiz past it. My guess is it would be in the main yard here though. Not just in some building outside of here. Now another thing I might do is drive past it accidentally. Sometimes when I can never find it, I have to check the Giants editor to see if I can find it anywhere. There's the slurry. Aha! Here it is! The water fill point, and thankfully there is a little like a yellow and black marking outside of it, just to confirm this is the place. Makes it more obvious as well. And it does say, I think it says do not drink. Warning, not drinking water. So I don't know if it's a main supply or what. Maybe it's like a well. So yeah, it shouldn't really cost us. Anyway, luckily we can afford it. So now let's go over to the greenhouses and top them up. They probably won't take too much. Oh yeah, there's the front mower again. Many people are asking me to get rid of it. I will do, don't worry. Bit of potential money there as well. and the wool pallet is filling up quite nicely. But as we know from my performance on Sandy Bay, even if there are 4 sacks in there, it doesn't necessarily mean it's full. Because it was about 84% full with 4 sacks. Here we are back at the yard, the one that we created. I actually love the idea of just being given this, like, it's like an area of dirt which really enables us to do whatever we want with it. I actually think quite a few people would turn it into another yard, but it could be anything. I mean, you could plough it, turn it into another field, or you could just leave it like this, put some bales on it, or put some buildings on it. Come on, unload me. It's ridiculous. I think it's trying to do it there. Refill, there we go. And they miraculously appear. There's still a bit of manure down on the ground, we'll have to pick it up later. How much is it going to take? 2,000 litres. That's okay. Now for this one here. No doubt it'll be 2,000 litres as well. Yes, it is. So, with that done, we can now put the Bowser away, and then we'll take a look and see what we've done today, and I think that's going to be it for this episode. If you've got any suggestions for the next episode, then please do let me know. Obviously, we do still have to do a few of our other jobs, but I'm fairly flexible. We can do some different jobs if you have any requests, so yeah, this is looking good. I love how they just appear from nothing to fully grown. Maybe it would be nice to have a few stages of growth. It would just look a little bit more realistic. It's just I don't know how many people do use these greenhouses. Quite a few people don't even think to even buy them. And to be honest, I've overlooked it many times before. But that was good. Actually no, there are a few stages of growth because there's no tomatoes on here just yet. And they do appear later on. But that is it for today. Thank you for watching. And as usual, I hope to see you again in the next episode. Bye for now.